Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I've always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing just happens for the sake of it in politics. Raila Odinga earlier today held a 2-hour meeting with Mwangi wa Iria, the former governor for Murang'a. What was the objective of that particular meeting? Because in my view, that meeting is significant politically speaking. So in this video, I want us to look at the details of that meeting and why the meeting is actually giving Kenya Kwanza sleepless nights. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get straight to the issues. What do you think was the main objective of this particular meeting between Mwangi wa Iria and Raila Odinga? And by the way, personally, I still believe that if Raila Odinga had picked on someone like Mwangi wa Iria, probably the outcome in the mountain would have been different. Mwangi wa Iria is that kind of a politician who is forceful, brutal, and can do any other thing to achieve the objectives. Something which I think Martha Karua lacked. Martha Karua is a very good candidate for the running mate because she has that reform credentials, but she's not ruthless. Raila needed someone as ruthless as Mwangi wa Iria. But what was the objective of this particular meeting? For me, number one, and this is why Kenya Kwanza is really worried, Raila Odinga is trying to rally the mountain to support his anti-government movement. But there's one problem he has in the mountain. He doesn't have a serious person who can take on these people in the mountain. Martha Karua is there. She can talk on TV without fear. Martha Karua can debate. She has everything. But Martha Karua cannot face the brutal Rigathi Gachagua. That is something which Raila Odinga has been lacking. Now with the entry of Mwangi wa Iria, I think Raila Odinga will have a bit of entry. So for him to do this, he needed someone in the name of Mwangi wa Iria. Probably, who else do you think he might need? Raila Odinga might also need someone in the name of Peter Munya. Now that Peter Munya is not a cabinet minister. So Raila Odinga is keen on rallying the mountain around this whole thing. But he has always lacked someone like Mwangi wa Iria. Listen to Mwangi wa Iria after meeting with Raila Odinga so that you can be your own judge.
Join me, I am the leader of non-shareholders. Gachagua is the leader of shareholders from today. And I'm saying there will be two groups in Mount Kenya. One led by Gachagua, the shareholders, the other led by Iria. And that was one of the purposes of meeting Raila Odinga today. And I've told him clearly as so. I also want to speak to this issue of Gachagua always abusing Raila Odinga and trying to create a wedge between Kikuyus and Luos. Rules are our friends. Karaji's are our friends. All communities are our friends. And I am not going to accept a situation whereby the leader of some few shareholders is telling us that Luos are our enemies. This business of always abusing Raila, when we start asking for our share of cake, some few elected Mount Kenya leaders always come back and they always tell us about Kemondo, they tell us about Mwendawazimu, they tell us about everything. Raila's age, he does not deserve to be abused by anybody. And I want to tell Gachagua very clearly. I'm very clear on this. And I know some few people there you start replying. But on this one, I want you to listen to me. And I want now to speak to the people of Nyeri because they are my neighbors and they are our friends. Kibaki, President Kibaki, actually was literally installed by Raila Odinga. He's from Nyeri. Gachagua is asking us who is Raila Odinga. We need to reply to him that Raila Odinga is a person who installed his elder brother, the third president of the Republic, Mwai Kibaki, as the president of Kenya, if he doesn't know who Raila Odinga in this country. Gachagua, and I respect him, I have no issues with him, has been in parliament for one term. Then he need to know the number of years that Mzee has been in politics for him to understand who Raila is. And I can tell you, the spirit of Mwai Kibaki must be turning in his grave now, because somebody from his area is actually asking who is Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga literally coronated Kibaki, and the people of Nyeri need to silence Gachagua and tell him he's actually going to bring a curse to Nyeri people and even to the entire Kikuyu community. You can do politics, you can say you not give subsidies, but I think we should remove personal politics. And I am telling you, there is a time I say that some of us will get a curse. There is no way Rigathi Gachagua can continue abusing Raila. If you listen to William Ruto, he doesn't abuse Raila per se. They are dueling. It's a political duel. But we cannot have somebody at his only job every day is to rally people to abuse a person. So, and I want to repeat once more, the spirit of Mwai Kibaki must be turning in his grave, listening to Gachagua, asking who Raila is. At least, you can fight with him politically, but don't ask who he is.
Number two, I also tend to think and believe very strongly that there is growing rebellion against Kenya Kwanza in the mountain. And because of that growing rebellion, many people are going to start to come out to join Azimio la Umoja One Kenya. And to achieve this, I think Raila Odinga is trying to rally all forces possible so that they can have someone who can be their figure. Currently, Raila Odinga has Kioni, Jeremiah Kioni, who is doing a fantastic job. In fact, the Sufuria movement has picked up because of Jeremiah Kioni. Personally, I never thought that Jeremiah Kioni would sustain the limelight the way he has done so far. But Raila Odinga also needed some other faces to help him bring together. You know, there is Jubilee as a political party in the mountain. Is Jubilee really embraced by those who were previously in UDA? I don't think they'll embrace Jubilee, but probably they might want to embrace another political formation, a formation which is now going to be led by none other than Mwangi Waria. And that's why probably Mwangi Waria was very clear that they are going to have two factions, one led by Rigathi Gachagua, who are the shareholders, and another one led by the ordinary people. In my view, I tend to think that William Ruto gave the people of the mountain hopes, and those hopes were just too much. And there's no way he's going to meet their expectations. So there's a rebellion already. So if there's a rebellion and these people are not willing to join Jubilee, how do you rally them against the government? Another faction or another formation must emerge. And for me, that is why Mwangi Waria has come on board, and probably we are going to wait to see the reaction, especially from Rigathi Gachagua, because I know Rigathi Gachagua is going to speak about it. Number three, which is also very, very important, and I've always said here that politics is a perceptional game, how people perceive it. By Mwangi Waria joining Raila Odinga, he's bringing a perceptional value to Azimio team. Because remember, something is happening, and I mentioned it when I did that analysis about Mwangi Kiunjuri. And during Kenya Kwanza parliamentary group meeting yesterday, Rigathi Gachagua actually lectured Mwangi Kiunjuri. There's this perception that immediately William Ruto took over, most leaders decided to go underground. And Charity Ngilu came back. You remember what I said about Charity Ngilu coming back. I indicated that probably they were trying to wait and see what was going to happen, how Ruto was going to deal with those who opposed them. People like Ngilu, Mwangi wa Iria, Peter Munya, they were still waiting. And the fact now that Ngilu has declared that she will still be with Raila Odinga, it means Raila Odinga is still strong. The fact that Mwangi wa Iria is now coming out to support and beat Raila Odinga, it means they are now identifying themselves more with this particular outfit. The fact that Mwangi Kiunjuri can come out to speak, and importantly, the fact that Mwangi Kiunjuri spoke, then a few days later, Raila Odinga meeting with Mwangi wa Iria means that there is something which is happening. So by Mwangi wa Iria joining Raila Odinga, basically what is happening is that there is that perceptional value which is bringing, and that perceptional value can only add to the advantage of Azimio and not Kenya Kwanza. And that is something which I know William Ruto and his team are monitoring very closely. The fourth objective of this meeting, which is worrying these guys, is the timing. Why do you think it is coming at this particular point in time, where the government cannot pay cannot pay civil servants for the first time, when the cost of living is just too high? Because this is the time you would have expected people like Mwangi wa Iria to say that, okay, the government was formed recently, still nothing much, so let us wait. But it's now coming out openly to join forces which are opposed to this government. So the timing is what is really worrying these guys. Why now? Why not previously? Because right now, if there's one thing which William Ruto would not want really, is the issue, in my view, the issue, if you ask me, of anything or any other formation coming up against his government. And just like I was saying, the other objective is to take advantage of the growing rebellion against Kenya Kwanza in the mountain. Let's face the reality. Kenya Kwanza won hands down in the mountain. But sustaining that win in the mountain is something which really will have to give them problem. Currently, there's a rebellion which is growing against Rigathi Gachagua, against William Ruto, and other leaders. The other day you saw how Rigathi Gachagua was attacked on his own Facebook page after he accused Uhuru Kenyatta. Today, since that day, he's yet to accuse Uhuru Kenyatta for being the reason why they can't pay staffs. Where they can't pay salaries. So because of that growing rebellion, Raila Odinga is meeting this gentleman to take advantage of it. I'm sure and I'm certain that more people are now going to start coming out to either join Kenya Kwanza or join Azimio. But I think for Kenya Kwanza, the moment they were declared the president and the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, for me, that was the point. These guys exhausted. So they can only now lose. They cannot win. Just like in the mountain. I don't think Raila Odinga can lose further in the mountain. The only people who can lose further in the mountain are Kenya Kwanza. And lastly, I think we are going to witness the politics around Uhuru Kenyatta's farm raid. When Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah, Moses Kuria met to plan this particular raid without William Ruto's authority, I think they didn't understand the impact it was going to make. I was reading, I think it was a press statement by Jubilee, where they were saying that on Saturday or Sunday, they'll be going to Uhuru Kenyatta's farm to plant trees. And they're asking those with goats to donate, which I find funny, because why should you donate to the Kenyattas? Yeah, those are billionaires. You should not waste your money donating to them. Hiyo nimesema, they can go to northeastern there, where there are so many goats without water. They can go there and pick those goats and bring in that farm, pay those farmers there. In fact, that's the gift they can give to those farmers. They can even go to Turkana and pick. Although right now I think it's a bit rainy, but those are the realities. There's no need of you taking your goat to the Kenyattas, even if they have everything, surely. Yeah, that was a drop in the ocean for them. Yeah, they don't even feel it. Right? But they are going to take advantage of that rate. That rate is going to be a big factor as far as Mount Kenya politics is concerned. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.